Lyraya of the Serenthi had never seen a star system as bright as Sol. Her small silver ship drifted quietly out of the jump corridor, its hull glowing with leftover energy. She pressed her long fingers to the navigation console and watched as her screens filled with the light of the yellow star. Compared to the pale suns of her homeworld, this one looked alive, almost burning with personality. The moment she arrived, her sensors overloaded with strange readings. Human space was loud, busy, and full of unusual signals. Some were basic communication frequencies. Others were encrypted military channels. A few were so advanced that her ship refused to label them. Lyraya adjusted her translator. "Human systems are chaotic," she muttered to herself. "How do they even understand each other?" Her mission was simple on paper. Make peaceful contact with humanity, observe their technological level, and return home with a report. The Serentha Council wanted answers. Humanity was growing fast, too fast, and their sudden rise had drawn the attention of many alien governments. Some feared the humans. Others admired them. Some wanted potential alliances. Others wanted to stay far, far away. But no one really understood humans. No one had visited them in person for decades. And the last diplomat who tried had returned home confused and speechless, unable to explain what he saw. So the council sent Lyraya, the youngest envoy in history, known for her calm mind and strong curiosity. "Do not worry," they had told her. "Humans cannot be as strange as the rumors say." But as her ship moved deeper into the system, Lyraya began to doubt that. Human space felt different, too vast, too active, too alive. She flew past an outer defense grid, a wide ring of small automated satellites. They scanned her ship with blue beams, but did not fire. Instead, they welcomed her with a polite digital message. "Unregistered vessel. Serenthi origin detected. Welcome to Sol. Hold course and expect human contact protocol." She raised an eyebrow. "They were expecting me?" Her ship vibrated slightly as a large structure appeared on her display. At first, she thought it was a moon, but it was moving slowly, rotating, shining, with a metallic glow. Her breath caught in her throat. "That is not a moon." The object was far too perfect, too symmetrical. It was a giant ring, wide enough to encircle a small planet. Hundreds of massive engines glowed on its outer rim. Thousands of lights dotted its surface like stars captured in metal. Its inner walls were lined with green and blue patches. Forests, oceans, entire ecosystems. Lyraya leaned closer to the screen. This cannot be real. But it was real. Her ship confirmed it. A fully artificial structure, larger than any station built by the Serenth or neighboring systems. A megastructure. A creation so big it challenged logic. Her heart raced. The rumors about humans being reckless builders suddenly felt too small. This was not recklessness. This was ambition, made solid, and it hanging quietly between planets like a sleeping titan. Lyraya whispered the words her translator suggested. The Aegis Ring. She felt a chill move down her spine. If humanity built this, what else have they built? For a moment, she considered turning back. The council had warned her to be careful. Humanity was unpredictable. Some alien records even described humans as overly emotional, stubborn, and dangerously curious. But turning back now would mean abandoning her mission, her courage, and her sense of discovery. And besides, she wanted to know. She wanted to understand the humans. She wanted to see this monstrous creation up close. She sent a diplomatic signal. "This is Envoy Lyraya of the Serenthi. I request safe entry to the Aegis Ring." The message echoed into human space. She waited. Seconds passed. Then minutes. Her fingers tapped nervously on the console. Maybe humans were not receiving her message. Maybe they did not care. Maybe they... A soft human voice suddenly filled her speakers. Envoy Lyraya, this is Commander Hale of the United Terran Coalition. Welcome to the Sol system. We've been expecting you. Lyraya froze. The voice belonged to a human male. Calm, yet strong. You have been expecting me? Your approach was detected 6 hours ago, Commander Hale replied. Our long-range scanners picked up your entry point. We have prepared a landing path for you. Please do not be alarmed. Lyraya swallowed. I am not alarmed. She was absolutely alarmed. A flight path appeared on her navigation screen, guiding her directly into the giant ring's open arc. Her hands trembled slightly as she followed the path, her ship gliding into the shadow of the megastructure. As she moved closer, she finally understood its size. Her entire ship, 20 meters long, was nothing. A fly entering a colossal metallic mountain. The interior walls towered over her like cliffs. Green forests grew inside, fed by artificial sunlight. Rivers flowed in controlled patterns. She saw buildings, 2 human structures, made of glass, steel, and glowing panels. They were planted along the inner curve of the ring like cities on the ceiling of a world turned inside out. Everywhere she looked, there was movement. Drones, ships, transports, and humans in exosuits working on repairs. She tried to count the activity, but her sensors broke again under the complexity. I don't understand, she whispered. No species builds something like this without help. How did humans make this? The translator had no answer. Then Commander Hale's voice returned. Envoy Lyraya, please proceed to docking port 73B. A reception team will greet you. IMB. S now. A reception team? She echoed. You are an honored guest, the commander said kindly. The first Serenthi envoy to enter Aegis Ring in 200 years. His words hit her like a small shock. 200 years since any alien diplomat had visited. Humans had been alone for a very long time. Her ship glided toward the docking port. The closer she came, the louder her heart pounded. She imagined the worst. Hostile humans, aggressive soldiers, towering machines. But she also imagined the best. Warm greetings, scientific curiosity, peaceful intentions. Her ship landed gently inside a large hangar. The doors closed behind her. She took a deep breath and stepped out onto the solid floor. For a moment, silence. Then 4 humans walked forward. They were tall compared to her, with strong builds and simple uniforms. Their expressions were serious but not unfriendly. One of them stepped ahead, Commander Hale himself, his dark hair tied back, his eyes sharp but calm. Envoy Lyraya, he said with a respectful nod. Welcome to humanity's Aegis Ring. You are safe here. Lyraya straightened her posture. Thank you, Commander. I am honored to be here. He smiled slightly. We hope your visit will help build understanding between our species. Humanity has much to share, and much to learn. She glanced around again at the massive hangar, the machines, the technology far beyond her expectations. Yes, she whispered. I believe that. Hale noticed her awe and chuckled softly. I know it must look overwhelming. Most visitors feel the same way. The Aegis Ring is large. Large, she said, astonished. Commander, this structure is big enough to challenge reason. No known civilization builds something at this scale. Hale's expression changed, still calm, but with a shadow of something deeper. You are correct, he said. But humanity had reasons. Lyraya tilted her head. He nodded. Yes, and during your visit, you will learn them all. But know this first. Nothing we built was done for conquest or domination. Humanity builds because we must. Because we are driven by challenges. Because we refuse to give up. Lyraya studied him carefully. She felt a mixture of respect and unease. Beautiful creations often hid dangerous truths. Still, she stepped forward. Her mission had begun, and deep within her heart, She felt something unexpected. Excitement. She did not know it yet. But the days ahead would change everything she believed about humans, and about herself. The interior of the Aegis ring was so large that Lyraya felt small the moment she stepped out of the docking hangar. Commander Hale guided her through wide corridors filled with soft white light. The walls were smooth metal, yet warm to the touch, like something alive. Every few steps, she passed small drones floating quietly, scanning the area for maintenance issues. Lyraya looked around with wide eyes. "Your station is very organized," she said. Hale smiled. "It has to be. The Aegis ring is too big for humans alone to manage. Our machines help us keep it stable." "How big is it exactly?" she asked, though she wasn't sure she wanted the answer. He typed something on a small wrist device. A blue hologram appeared, showing a scale model of the megastructure. "It is 3 million kilometers in diameter," he said simply. Lyraya stopped walking. "Commander, that is impossible. No one builds something of that size. Not even the ancient civilizations in the galactic records." Hale looked at her gently. "Humanity did." A shiver ran through her. She wasn't sure if it was fear or amazement or both. They entered a large transparent lift. The doors closed, and the floor hummed softly. In a moment, the lift shot upward, and Lyraya gasped at the sight before her. Through the clear walls, she could see the inside of the Aegis ring in full view. It looked like an entire world stretched across a curved sky. Forests covered the inner ring in patches of green. Blue oceans shimmered like giant lakes. Floating platforms carried buildings shaped like shining towers. Bridges connected land sections across impossible distances. And above it all, an artificial sun glowed with a soft, golden light, moving along rails built into the ring's inner spine. "This is," Lyraya struggled for words. "It is like a planet turned inside out." Hale nodded proudly. "That is exactly what we tried to create. A place where billions can live, work, and grow. Not just a fortress home." "You built all this to live inside?" she asked. "Partly," Hale answered. "But that is not the main reason." Lyraya felt her throat tighten. She could sense something serious hiding beneath his calm voice. The lift stopped and opened into a massive walkway. Thick glass panels lined the sides, showing the full view of the artificial landscape below. Human citizens walked along the walkway, scientists, engineers, and officers. Some noticed Lyraya and stared for a moment. Others smiled politely. A few waved. Lyraya blinked in surprise. "They seem friendly." "We try," Hale said with a light laugh. "Humans are curious creatures. You are our first alien guest in centuries." They are excited. She watched as a small human child pointed at her, tugging her mother's sleeve. The mother bent down, whispering something. Then the two waved at Lyraya again. Lyraya raised her hand and waved back awkwardly. Hale watched the interaction and spoke softly. "You are safe here, envoy. Humanity has made many mistakes in the past, but welcoming visitors is something we value deeply." Lyraya relaxed a little. "Thank you, Commander. That means a lot." But she knew humanity's kindness was only part of the story. A species that could build a structure like this, bigger than moons, larger than planets, could not be simple or harmless. They arrived at a long hall filled with screens showing rotating maps, energy readings, and ship movements. Human officers worked quietly, adjusting controls and monitoring systems. Hale gestured for Lyraya to follow him through the hall and toward a central platform. "This is our control nexus," he explained. "From here, we manage the entire Aegis ring." Lyraya studied the screens intently. They showed shifting numbers, heat readings, and power flows so much energy that it dwarfed the output of small stars. "This whole structure, it is a weapon, isn't it?" she asked softly. Hale paused before answering. "It can be." Lyraya turned to him sharply. "You said it was a home." It is both, he said. Sometimes, to protect a home, one must also build a shield. And a weapon disguised as a shield, Lyria replied. Hale didn't deny it. Instead, he walked to the center console and tapped a few commands. The giant screens shifted, merging into one single enormous image. A dark mass appeared. A swirling cloud of silver and black, like a storm twisting through space. Lyria took one step back. What is that? Hale spoke in a quiet voice. That is the Eclipse Swarm. She had heard faint rumors about something like this during her training, but the council never shared details. What does it do? Lyria asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Hale folded his arms. It consumes stars. It infects planets. It turns everything it touches into raw material for expansion. We don't know where it came from. We only know it is heading toward the inner galaxy. And humanity is in its path, Lyria said. Not just humanity, Hale corrected softly. Your people too. And several others. But humanity is the closest. Lyria stared at the swirling cloud on the screen. It moved like a slow wave, devouring systems one after another. How long until it reaches this region? She asked. 3 or 4 years, Hale answered. Lyria felt her knees weaken. That soon? Hale nodded. We had no choice but to prepare, so we built the Aegis rings. Rings, she repeated. Plural? 7 exist, Hale said. 2 more are under construction. This one is the largest. Lyria struggled to breathe for a moment. There are 8 of these? Soon, Hale said. If we finish in time. Lyria turned back to the screen. And this structure can destroy that. Swarm? Not destroy, Hale said. Stop. Slow. Push it back. It may require all rings combined to generate enough energy. Lyria studied the dark cloud again. Something inside her trembled. She understood now why the humans had built something this enormous. They were preparing for survival. Not conquest. Not domination. Survival. She took a long breath. My council, they do not know about this. Hale's expression softened. We hoped to explain everything to you so you could deliver the truth. Many civilizations think we are reckless, dangerous, power-hungry. But all we want is a chance to live. Lyria turned to him fully. But why keep it secret? Why not tell the galaxy? Because panic would break everything, Hale answered. Trade would collapse, alliances would crumble, governments would flee. There would be chaos across sectors. We needed time to build. Time to prepare. Lyria understood that. Even in her own society, fear could spread faster than logic. She folded her hands in front of her. Commander Hale, why me? Why invite a single envoy instead of contacting all governments? Hale met her eyes with a serious, almost heavy look. Because we needed someone who would listen. Someone curious. Someone not blinded by fear or pride. Her heart tightened slightly. You believe I am that person? Yes, he said simply. Hale led her through another hall until they reached a large window overlooking a glowing chamber full of swirling light. Giant energy conduits ran like silver rivers along the walls. A thick central core hummed with blue power. This, Hale said, is the heart of the Aegis ring. Lyria stepped closer. This power, it feels alive. It should, Hale said. This core can output more energy than a star. Enough to bend gravity. Enough to create artificial suns. Enough to... He paused. Enough to stop the eclipse swarm, Lyria finished. Hale nodded. Lyria felt a strange sensation, a mix of admiration and fear. You humans. You push yourselves far beyond limits. Hale smiled faintly. Humanity grows when it is challenged. This challenge is simply bigger. Monstrous, Lyria whispered. Monstrous? Hale repeated. In scale, she clarified quickly. Not in intent. Hale nodded, accepting the words without offense. Yes, the scale is monstrous. But the purpose is simple. We want to live. And we want others to live too. Lyria looked at the glowing core again. She realized then that the humans were not building a weapon of destruction. They were building a shield for the galaxy. A shield no one else had dared to try. As they walked back toward the lift, Lyria felt her thoughts spinning. Human kindness, their ambition, their fear, their strength, everything mixed in her mind like a storm. She had come expecting to judge them. Instead, she found herself unsure of her own beliefs. Hale glanced at her. Are you overwhelmed? A little, she admitted. It's normal. Even humans feel that way the first time. The lift doors closed behind them. Lyria looked out again at the unbelievable world inside the ring. I thought I came here to study humans, she said softly. But now, I think I will also learn about myself. Hale nodded. That is what the stars do to us, Envoy. They show us who we truly are. As the lift rose, Lyria wondered, was humanity the galaxy's greatest danger? Or its last hope? She did not yet know the answer. But she would. Soon. Lyria barely slept during her first night inside the Aegis ring. Her guest room was peaceful, warm, and decorated with soft lights. But her mind refused to rest. She kept replaying everything she had learned. The giant artificial world, the eclipse swarm, humanity's impossible engineering, the strange mix of hope and danger. Inside every corner of this massive structure, she lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling that shifted colors to match gentle night cycles. How can one species do so much? She whispered. When morning came, a soft chime echoed through her room. Envoy Lyria, the automated voice said politely. Commander Hale requests your presence in the observation tower. Lyria blinked the sleep from her eyes, stood, and prepared herself. Commander Hale met her outside the lift. He looked tired, as if he had been working all night, yet he still offered her a respectful nod. Good morning, Envoy. I hope you rested well. I tried, she answered honestly. He chuckled lightly. That is normal. The Aegis ring can be overwhelming for new visitors. She nodded. It is more than overwhelming. It is unbelievable. Well, Hale said, today you will see something even harder to believe. The doors opened, and they stepped into the observation tower. It was a tall room with a curved, transparent wall stretching from floor to ceiling. Outside, the entire inner world of the ring sparkled like a living painting. Lyria felt breathless again, even though she had seen it before. But Hale wasn't looking at the inner world. He pointed through the opposite window, the one facing open space. Look there. Lyria stepped forward until she saw what he meant. Her eyes widened. Floating in the distance, connected by glowing energy beams, were 3 more colossal rings smaller than the Aegis ring, but still massive. They hung in space like shining crowns. You built more of them, she whispered. Yes, Hale replied, and those are only the ones near Sol. The others are scattered across human territory, protecting key systems. Lyria felt a lump in her throat. But why? Why build something so big in so many places? Hale's face turned serious. To understand that, Envoy, you must know the full history. He guided her to a round table where holographic images rose from the surface. Some showed stars, planets, and battlefields. Others showed ancient ships, burning cities, and long diplomatic meetings. For centuries, Hale began. Humanity was one of the weaker civilizations. We were late to the galactic community. Many species saw us as chaotic, emotional, and unreliable. Lyria knew this. The Serenthi Council often described humans the same way, interesting, but unstable. What changed? She asked. War, Hale answered quietly. A war no one expected. The hologram shifted to show hostile fleets, strange alien ships firing bright red beams. This was the Varnak conflict, Hale explained. The Varnak Empire attacked human colonies without warning. We asked for assistance from other civilizations, but... He paused. Lyraya finished for him. No one helped. Hale nodded slowly. Most said it was not their problem. Some believed humanity had provoked the war. Others were too far away, or too afraid of the Varnak. The hologram showed human ships burning, cities destroyed, refugees fleeing. Lyraya swallowed hard. How long did the war last? 27 years, Hale said. During that time, humanity suffered greatly. But we also changed. We learned. We grew. We adapted. The hologram now displayed human engineers working in underground labs, building strange machines. We developed technology faster than any species predicted. We learned to turn our weaknesses into strengths, and we built things like this. He gestured toward the giant rings. But after the war ended, Hale continued, no one came to help us rebuild. Humanity rebuilt alone. We suffered alone. We rose alone. Lyraya felt a cold ache in her chest. I had no idea. No one outside human space did, Hale said. Most records were lost, ignored, or hidden. Why hidden? To avoid blame. Many governments preferred to forget they turned away. Humanity didn't push the matter. We were too busy trying to survive. Lyraya looked at the floating rings again. So the Aegis rings are a result of that history? In part, Hale said. They represent our determination to never be helpless again. To never let any enemy Varnak or otherwise wipe out our worlds. He paused. But that's only half the story. The hologram changed again, this time showing the eclipse swarm's dark cloud. This, Hale said, was discovered during our deep space surveys after the war. Lyraya leaned closer. The swirling silver mass consumed planets like dust. When humans first detected it, Hale continued, the swarm was still far from the galaxy's edge, but we calculated its trajectory and realized it would reach inhabited space eventually. Why not tell the galaxy then? Lyraya asked. We did, Hale said with a sigh. But no one believed us. He looked at her. They thought we were lying. Or exaggerating. Some even said humanity was trying to gain control. By spreading fear. Lyraya frowned deeply. But your scans were true. They were, he agreed. But our reputation was complicated back then, and other species were not willing to accept a threat they couldn't fight. The hologram zoomed in, showing the swarm consuming a small star system. So, Hale said, we realized we must build something strong enough to face it, whether the galaxy helped us or not. Lyraya spoke softly. The Aegis rings. Exactly. Built not out of conquest. Built out of necessity. She looked down at her hands. She understood now. Humans had been underestimated for so long that they stopped waiting for anyone else. They built their own future, even if the galaxy refused to see it. Hale walked to the window again, and Lyraya joined him. The rings floated like glowing halos. The stars shimmered in the distance. There is something else you must know, Hale said. Another hologram appeared, showing a large energy wave exploding outward from the ring. This is the pulse event, Hale explained. A last resort defense. If activated, the combined rings can generate a shield powerful enough to stop the eclipse swarm. Lyraya studied the image carefully. But this pulse looks... It is, Hale admitted. A pulse strong enough to disrupt the swarm would also damage neighboring subspace channels. Lyraya's breath caught. FTL travel? Hale nodded gravely. Yes, if we fire the pulse at maximum capacity, faster than light travel will become impossible in several surrounding regions for many years. Lyraya stared at him, shocked. That means entire civilizations will be isolated. Yes, he said quietly, yours included. Why didn't you tell the galaxy? she demanded, her voice trembling. We plan to. Eventually, Hale said. But not until we were sure the rings worked. Not until we had a solution that didn't destroy half the galaxy's travel paths. We hoped to find a better answer. But you haven't, Lyria whispered. He shook his head. She felt torn. Part of her admired humanity, its strength, its courage, its ability to do the impossible. But another part of her feared what would happen when the galaxy learned the truth. You were ready to sacrifice your place among the stars, she said softly. Yes, Hale answered. If it meant stopping the swarm. Silence filled the room. Lyria felt the weight of humanity's burden pressing against her chest. Commander, she said slowly. Why are you telling me all this? Hale met her eyes with calm determination. Because you needed to understand everything before making your report. Your council must know the truth. And because... His voice softened. Humanity cannot face this threat alone. Not anymore. I was not Fress. Lyria felt her heart beat faster. She understood now. The humans weren't dangerous. They were desperate, determined, hopeful, and very, very tired. You want help, she said. Yes, Hale replied. We want allies, not servants, not puppets, not fearful neighbors. True allies. Lyria looked at the rings, glowing like enormous protective shields. If humanity fell, the galaxy would fall soon after. She swallowed. I will tell them, she promised. Hale nodded. Thank you, Envoy Lyria. Whatever happens next, humanity will remember this. As she stood beside him, watching the stars, Lyria realized something deep inside her was changing. She had come to judge the humans. Instead, she found herself admiring them, and fearing what would happen if no one believed her. Because the eclipse swarm was coming, and humanity's monstrous creation might be the only thing standing between the galaxy and extinction.